Spurs' backup point guard, Patty Mills, is a free agent, and after his postseason performance, obviously, there will be a lot of suitors. The Knicks happen to be in the market for a new starting point guard, and according to the New York Post, Mills would definitely be interested in playing in the big city. They apparently know that, Stephen A. Your take, rather, where do you think he ends up?
I have no idea where he'll end up right now. I know that Philadelphia will be a target because they could use somebody like him, and Coach Brown used to coach under Popovich. I know Budenholzer in Atlanta would consider it because he's also a protege of Greg Popovich, and obviously, you know, they try to keep things within the family, and Patty Mills knows that if he's not going to be with Popovich, he wants to be someplace else where he knows he'll be taken care of because of the system that they have in place, the leadership, etc. I'm of the mindset, however, when I look at the New York Knicks, I like Patty Mills. I like his energy. I love the fact that he can shoot. I definitely think he'd be an upgrade from a Raymond Felton. But the one thing that I would caution everybody, when we look at Patty Mills, a lot of people look at him and they think that he could play that way if he were to be logging exorbitant minutes. I tell him to be careful of that. He plays with a lot of energy, but he gets away with an awful lot. He bodies guys up. He puts their hands on them. He draws offensive fouls. But I think that the more he plays, the more he could potentially get exposed. And I think that that's what – there's no question that he could shoot. And there's a place for him in any lineup in the league because he can shoot the basketball. And pressure doesn't faze him. He'll put the ball up, and it'll go in. But if he goes someplace else where they're paying him money and they're elevating his level of playing time, now you have to run an offense because, remember, most teams don't share the ball as adroitly as the Spurs do. So you're going to find the ball in your hands more. You're going to find yourself having to dribble and handle the ball a little bit more. And you're not going to have a Tim Duncan to throw it to in the low post or some of the other players that you had on the bench with you coming into the game with you. That's the issue, and that's going to be the challenge for Patty Mills. So even though I like him and I want him to get his money because I think he earned it, I would advise caution when it comes to him because he looks a hell of a lot better on the Spurs than I think he'll look at other places.
And you want him there.
Thank you.
Keep him.
Thank you. Thank you. I love what you just said. It was basketball wisdom emanating from Stephen Naismith, who invented the game of basketball. Thank you for that wisdom, and I hope the NBA is listening to you because I need Patty, who became my favorite Spur, to stay in San Antonio. And on Monday's show, Danny Green joined us, and he said that his gut feeling was that Patty was leaning towards staying because clearly he loves being a San Antonio Spur, living in San Antonio, playing for Greg Popovich. Now, here's the irony of what you're talking about, and this is where I do agree with you. There was one guy who didn't fit in the San Antonio system. There's one guy who doesn't share the ball. It's this guy. Patty Mills came off the bench as a no-conscience gunner. I mean, there's no more fearless shooter in the league. Nobody had a greener light than Patty Mills coming off the bench. He's not sharing the ball. He's shooting the ball at will. It's like, no, Patty, no. Oh, he made another one. Yeah. And Stephen A., you know I watched every Spurs game. Oh, gosh. I am here to tell you that the single biggest reason the Spurs had, by 5 games, the best road record in the National Basketball Association was Patty Mills. The big three missed so many games. Kawhi missed so many games. Patty Mills didn't miss many shots. Do you realize that 13 of his 14 highest scoring games came on the road? Just real quickly, some of those games, 32 points, 29, 26, 25, 23, 21, 20 on the road. Fourth quarters on the road. Listen to this, Stephen A. 18 in the fourth at Charlotte. This is like LeBron going off kind of numbers. 16 in the fourth quarter at the Clippers. 13 in the fourth quarter at Portland. 11 in the fourth quarter at the Knicks. This is Patty Mills. He would just come in and say, give me the ball and get out of my way. This is not Spurs basketball. They needed him to save the night, night after night after night, and he saved it. Could he do it for your Knicks as a starting point guard? I don't think so. He's like 6 feet tall at the tallest. Last year, he was derisively nicknamed, even though they loved him. They called him Fatty Mills because he was so overweight. He got right in the offseason. He completely remolded his body. Did he not look athletic and quick? He's the fastest Spur. He doesn't play great defense. He just irritates people with his energy on defense. but he fits the Spurs way better than he would fit your Knicks.
You are so biased, you know that right now. I mean, this is not speaking objectively.
No, but it was the truth.
All right, gentlemen, let's leave it there. Here's a thought. Nice guys might finish last after all. Is Aaron Rodgers taking a